Okay, we're back on the, Mr. Wynn, would you come on? We're back on the record in cause number 329114. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Stephen Wynn. Now, Mr. Wynn, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. On page 1 of this document, well, first of all, do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Wynn, there's 2 sets of initials. On page 2, are these your initials?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that says defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
And there's another document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your signature above the line that says defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of the document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
The second box states that you are waiving, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, I also have before me 2 documents. First document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendant Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature at the bottom of this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And there's a set of initials on the bottom line that states, I want to waive my right to an attorney and represent myself. Are these your initials?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I also have a document here that is titled Waiver of Counsel for Purposes of Entering a Guilty Plea or Proceeding to Trial. You recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is that your signature above the line that says defendant? Now, Mr. Wynn, prior to signing and initialing all of these documents, the documents on paper and the ones on the tablet, did you have an opportunity to review the documents?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you review the documents?
Yes.
And did you understand what you reviewed?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Wynn, the state is offering State's Exhibit number 1. State's Exhibit number 1 is the document that have your initials on page 2 and your signature on page 3. The state would like to use this document as evidence against you in this case. Is it all right for the state to use this document as evidence in your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, no objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Wynn, is there any evidence that you are currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No.
Okay. Now, Mr. Wynn, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. And I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And, excuse me. What is that agreement?
Okay, it's for 180 days over 1 year, a $1,000 fine, 80 hours community service, and a forfeiture of the weapon. And there should be a motion to forfeit that's filled out.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Wynn, I have
Is it,
before,
Did you say 1 year in, 1 year probation?
okay, yeah, what I'm gonna do, I'll explain that to you. Okay, now, Mr. Wynn, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in jail on this case because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,000 and court costs of $307, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $1,307. During the 1-year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month and a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. The total amount that you would have to pay per month is $195. Would you be able to pay the $195 per month?
Yes, Your Honor.
Also, you didn't, okay. Did you put the forfeiture in there? I didn't,
She didn't have it on the tablet.
it's not,
I'll pick it with-
hold on a minute. Oh, I was already. Yeah, it's not up, yeah. Okay, Miss Maxey, the forfeiture of the weapon is part of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, it's not on the tablet, so I'm gonna send this, I'm gonna just
I-
close it, and then I guess you can open it back.
I thought I marked it at the bottom where the,
Let's see.
where it says other.
No. No, I don't have it on this one.
Okay,
No, I don't see it. Okay.
okay, I'll fix it.
Okay. Okay. Now, Mr. Nguyen, you would also have to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation. Did I mention to you that you're also required to do 80 hours of community service?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, I have before me, that's gonna be pursuant to 1819 subsection, section D. Okay. 1819. Yeah. Now pursuant to Article Section 18.19 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedures, Section D, okay. It basically states that a person either convicted or receiving deferred adjudicated under Chapter 46. Chapter 46 is the unlawfully carrying a weapon. It's Chapter 46, and that's the chapter that you're charged under, unlawfully carrying a weapon. And it says that you're entitled to the weapon seized upon request to the court in which the person was convicted or placed on deferred adjudication. However, the court entering the judgment shall order the weapon be destroyed, sold at a public sale by the law enforcement agency holding the weapon or by an auctioneer licensed under Chapter 1802 Occupation Code, or forfeited to the state for use by the state or by the law enforcement agency holding the weapon or by a county forensic laboratory designated by the court if the person does not request the weapon before the 61st day after the date of the judgment or of conviction or the order placing the person on deferred adjudication. So I have before me a motion to forfeit the weapon. And Mr. Nguyen, do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature above the line that says defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, this document reads that Combs now Assistant Criminal District Attorney of Jefferson County, Texas, and makes this motion requesting the court enter an order pursuant to Article 18.19 of Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, wherein this court orders the equipment to wit as a Sig Sauer handgun serial number 52B042862. The defendant has been notified that he or she is entitled to the weapon upon written request to the magistrate. However, the defendant is not requesting a weapon. Therefore, the weapon is to be forfeited to the Beaumont Police Department in the state of Texas. Wherefore, the state of Texas hereby pray that this motion be granted. Now, you've had an opportunity to read this document,
Yes, Your Honor.
and did you read the document?
Yes.
And did you understand what you read?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I will grant the state's motion for forfeiture of the weapon. And the weapon will be forfeited pursuant to Article 118.19, Section D. Okay. I don't need this here. Portion. You can just put that with it, but I don't need that. Okay, now, Mr. Nguyen, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Nguyen, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you entered into with the state. Mr. Nguyen, please stand on the X in front of our court clerk. Once you can follow her directions, and once you finish here, you're free to go. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You swear you have been convicted or given deferred adjudication or regular probation or a misdemeanor or felony in this or any other state? Remember when that was?